So, have you ever wondered how to combat an enemy that has the energy advantage on you? Well, you're going to need two things. First, you're going to need the top speed advantage, which the Saber has, and you're going to need to know how to defeat your opponent's energy advantage. And if you've already watched the my previous video, a link to it will be in the description. You've seen just how good a pilot Noob is, and just how good he is with the American 20mm cannons. So this is in no way going to be an easy fight for me. But it turns out when your opponent has the energy advantage, if you're in a faster plane, it just doesn't matter. Also, if you've ever thought, hey, I want to get into jet games because jet games must be so much faster and so much more action-packed than prop games, you could not be more wrong. What you're seeing right now, us jockeying for position, is pretty much all jet games are. It's you trying to get the energy advantage over your opponent and waiting for them to make a bad enough mistake so you can kill them quickly and swiftly, because if you try turn fighting, you will get slow, and if you get slow, then somebody else is going to come in and kill you. So the real trick is, you'll see that he's not diving on me, and you'd be forgiven for thinking, well, he must be a noob. Why doesn't he just dive on me and kill me? Well, he's actually doing something extremely smart. He knows that if he dives on me, I'm just going to dive away. We're going to end up at the same altitude, but I'll be faster because I have the higher top speed, and then just like that, I'll have the energy advantage. And I did not intend to fly out of the battlefield and get reset. That was a mistake of, we started our fight too close to the edge of the battlefield, so I'm going to dive away from the edge of the battlefield. And I also think if he doesn't get reset, no, he got reset, so he was reset to the same speed I was, and just slightly higher altitude. So he still has the energy, so he lost most of his energy advantage to me right there. So I'm going to get myself slow, then I'm going to do some hard turns to bleed off some speed to give him the energy advantage again, and air brake just to make sure he has the energy advantage. And then we're going to proceed to take that energy advantage away from him, which is what this video is about. Probably should have started the video now rather than having this big lead up just to get it pretty much reset anyway. But looking at my speed, I'm doing 630 miles per hour. The really cool thing about the Saber is I'm not to my top speed yet, and I believe his top speed is like 580 or something at sea level. So yeah, I have a pretty big top speed advantage, and that's going to allow me to completely negate his energy advantage if he were to commit to a dive on me. And because he's such a smarty pants, he's not committing to a dive on me, which means I'm going to have to start getting creative. See, he's starting to get closer, and he's seeing himself getting closer, thinking, maybe I can get him. And then I hit 630, level myself off, and uh-oh. You'd be forgiven for thinking I'm out of range, but he can make that shot. Oh, God. Alright, now that he's zoom climbing, if he would have stayed on this altitude and lost speed while I was still accelerating, I would have gained the energy advantage to it, because now he's zoom climbing, putting himself at a lower speed, allowing his acceleration to take over. That's not going to happen. So instead, I'm going to turn into him, giving him an angle to come at me to make him think he's gained a positional advantage on me. He hasn't. And that's one of the tricks, is tricking them into thinking that they've gained enough of an energy advantage over you, that they can just press you into the ground and kill you. Which, because of how fast the Saber is, they actually can't. So that's a real trick to it. When you're going up against a real noob, not somebody who's named Noob ironically, they would have just continued to follow me at low altitude, seeing as they were half a mile away, they probably would have blown all their ammo. And even if they had good enough trigger discipline not to blow their ammo, they still would have sat at that altitude long enough to give me the energy advantage. He's smart enough that he's not going to do that, so I'm going to have to get more creative. And how am I going to get more creative? Exploiting one of the Saber's greatest strengths. And right now I'm trying to zoom climb up, letting him get closer, getting him to come back towards me again. And I'm not sure how much experience he has flying the Panther and RB, but I've had a huge amount of experience flying the Sabers. And it doesn't matter that this is the A5, the F-series Sabers are also limited to 6Gs, so I know exactly how much altitude I need for a given pullout. So I'm able to do these split S's very low, but right now I'm doing a 600 mile per hour horizontal turn, which interestingly enough is right about where the Saber hits its sustained turn time. Which means I can keep this up indefinitely. I can just keep turning at 600 miles per hour and never stop, And by turning, that's putting him on the inside of my turn because he's slower than I am. It's going to let him turn tighter, which means he's going to think he's able to pull lead, and he's going to get closer. He's also thinking I'm turning, so I'm bleeding energy, even though I'm actually not. And if I keep turning in, is he going to get closer? And I'm making it look to him like I'm in a vulnerable position, even though I'm not. And see how much of a turn he's done. He still has a little altitude, but I have a huge speed advantage now, which means I can keep this up. I can just keep turning, wait until he gets close enough he's almost within firing range, and then straighten out. And because I'm going so much faster than him, I'll gap him so quickly he'll just never get that shot. He's over a mile away still, but see how I'm actually managing to hold a constant distance from him, even though now I'm in a zoom climb, and he's coming in at an angle, and I'm gapping him. So yeah, I've managed to gain a huge energy advantage over him. So basically he had two choices: do what he did, try and pursue, hand me the energy advantage, or he could have just camped at high altitude until I stopped turning. There's no other choice. There's nothing else that he could do in that plane. And you can replace the Panther with a MiG-15, and it would have ended the same way. The MiG just climbs a little better and has a much higher top speed. But the MiG still is slower than you, and the Panther still outclimbs the Sabre, so the advantages are still the same. It's just a little bit more extreme of a difference with these two planes. And now that I have the energy advantage, I'm able to close in. He's never going to be able to outrun me, and as long as I keep pressure on him and prevent him from climbing, he's never going to be able to gain the energy advantage back. So he's effectively lost already. Now I just need to manage to kill him. And again, against the normal person, that isn't actually so hard. The Sabre does have very dangerous guns, and jets do have a tendency to explode and burst into flames. Unfortunately, this is not an average player, and this is going to take a while, and that was actually very close. I don't know if he air braked or not. You can see his smoke trail, how he tightened his turn right there at the top. That's because he slowed down while he was in the vertical reversal. And I'm not sure if he augmented that with a little bit of air brake or not. It doesn't matter. I have the altitude advantage anyway, so he might as well be using air brake to try and force me to overshoot. But either way, it didn't matter. He didn't need to use air brake to make me overshoot because he was already slower than me. But, as I already said, once I gain the energy advantage with my playstyle, how cautious I am, it's very hard to make me give it up. And now, because I'm in the fastest aircraft, I basically beat him in sort of a hybrid energy zoom fight, but more of a zoom fight. The Panther wins in an energy fight because it has a higher climb rate, but the Sabre being faster and weighing about the same does make it a better zoom fighter. And he timed that perfectly. Unfortunately, he pulled in too tight. And so the dodge was perfect, but we were a little too low. And the reason I'm saying 1-to-1 rather than 0-to-1 is because I didn't include it in the video. But the second we started this match, it spawned us at 200 miles per hour just above the ground. And well, the Sabre's advantages over the Panther all happen at much higher speeds, and it didn't matter. He didn't need the advantage. He just killed me anyway. So I tied it. We're even now, even though you didn't get to see the first kill. He actually killed me the first time. But now we're doing Aerocobra versus the XP50, which on the face of it doesn't seem like a very fair fight. The Aerocobra's tier 2, the XP50's tier 3. They're both overperforming for their tier, though, so really it's a tier 3 versus a tier 4. The other thing you're not... Oh, and he timed that absolutely perfectly. The other thing you're forgetting is he's a better player than I am. So, no, that wasn't a fair fight. I probably should have been in a Bearcat. And I'm thinking, should I take a Bearcat? No. That would just be mean. However fair it would have been, it still would have been mean. So, we're... Hopefully he doesn't predict my defensive maneuver perfectly this time. But he timed that perfectly. He really did. And now he has the energy advantage over me, so I'm going to exploit the same thing, the Panther versus the Sabre. I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm going to exploit my top speed to try and negate his altitude advantage. And it might work. It might not work. I don't know, we're going to see. If he doesn't dive on me, then it's not going to get the opportunity to work, but if he doesn't dive on me, then nobody's ever going to kill the other one. Oh, he's diving on me, and he timed it perfectly, so I don't have time to dive away and build speed. So I'm going to split S anyway. I'm at a lower speed than he is, which means I'm more maneuverable. I'm not going to hit G-lock while he is. But he knows that and already went vertical to not waste his energy advantage while he has it. And rather than waiting at altitude for me to pick up speed, he's diving on me immediately again. So I'm going to try the exact same tactic. I'm going to try using his speed against him and force him to overshoot. Which again isn't going to work because he's not following me down. Because he's aware of the fact that I have the zoom fighting advantage due to my higher top speed, so he's not letting me exploit it. So fine, I'll exploit my zoom fighting, or my energy fighting advantage anyway. And again, exploiting his speed to make him overshoot. And coming back into him, and now I'm exploiting my superior climb rate to stay with him even though he started with the energy advantage. And now I'm just trying to get him to turn to make sure he can't get away. And did he? Nope, he didn't, but that slight turn he did bled enough speed, it's going to allow me to catch him anyway. And as I already said, I have the superior acceleration. Yay! I finally managed to damage him. I'm so happy with myself. Alright. Now it's a fair fight. Alright, maybe it's not quite a fair fight, but hey, I'm losing at the moment, alright? I'm allowed to cheat. You're allowed to cheat when you're losing, right? And now I get to exploit my superior top speed to catch him. Or I can exploit my superior climb rate to gain the energy advantage. And if I catch him, we'll be in a fair fight. If I gain an energy advantage, we won't be in a fair fight. Which is why I was considering climbing. But then I reminded myself he's damaged, so I'll just dive. And now I'm going to do a low yo-yo. Or not low yo-yo, a straight yo-yo. And before I can exploit my zoom fighting advantage, he turned in while I had my guns down. I don't know if he knows how good his timing is, but it couldn't be much better. And nope. Nope, no poke. Oh crap, he turned into me. Alright, superior top speed, save me! Alright, he has no energy left. There's no way he can follow me through this. And oh, thank God. Alright, now he's diving away, so he's not going to be an easy target when I reverse. It'd be so much easier if he didn't know all the right counters. That's right, again, superior top speed, so I'm going to catch him, no problem. And I'm going to have the energy advantage when I catch him because we'll be at the same altitude, but I have the top speed. And as I already said, because of how I play, once I gain an energy advantage over someone, it's very rare that they're able to beat me, because if I was a more aggressive player, I'd follow him through the turn and try and shoot him. Instead, I'm going to go vertical. Well, I don't actually remember what I did, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to go vertical again. And then just see what he does and play off of there, rather than just blindly trying to attack him like most people do. So again, he turned far too quickly for me to track without bleeding too much, so I went up, just like I always do. But then he S'd back the other way, which seems to be one of his favorite maneuvers. And I timed it reasonably well, nowhere near as well as he timed all of his attacks, but I got him! Finally! I finally get a proper kill. We're finally even again. And just because we're even this game, he won. I'm pretty sure he won every other match we tried. But we tied this one, so actually I don't remember how this fight ends. But actually the P-63, a lot of people think the King Cobra is overpowered, but to be honest, King Cobra versus the Aero Cobra, when he was fighting me in the Aero Cobra, we had about equal energy fighting capability, and we had about equal turn fighting capability, and I had a superior top speed, so I was a better zoom fighter, so we were equal in most ways except top speed. The King Cobra still matches me in a straight turn fight, but I have, because it climbs worse than the Aero Cobra, and it bleeds its speed faster than the Aero Cobra due to a worse swing loading, the King Cobra is actually a worse energy fighter, so he's given me a much bigger energy fighting advantage, but the King Cobra is faster, so he's negated my zoom fighting advantage, something that he does exploit several times during this. But at the moment, he's using his turn fighting to fight me to a standstill because both of us are equal turn fighters, but I'm starting to turn up, and after this split S, I'm going to go up again, and he is going to get a shot here. Oh god, I don't like giving him shots, he tends to make them. And now it looks like he has the advantage because he's on my tail, but in that maneuver, I saw how little energy he has compared to me. And, oh god, oh jeez, oh, King Cobra having proper stall physics, save me. And there we go. Whew, oh, thank god the King Cobra has proper stall physics. If he was in an HE-51, he would have just slaughtered me. But he's not, he's in a King Cobra and it actually stalls, so haha. So that was a pretty risky maneuver, what I did, giving him my tail on purpose, but it worked perfectly. And at this point, he only really has two options. He can dive away or he can keep trying to keep me in front of him. He can't actually put his guns on me properly, or at least I thought until I watched him do it. But he got his guns on me, he didn't get lead, and without lead he wouldn't have been able to actually hit me. And I'm pretty sure he knows now he doesn't have the energy to come at me, so this is where he starts to exploit our equal zoom fighting abilities by making a run for it, is the simple way to look at it. And while it does give me his tail, it's not actually a bad maneuver to any extent, but I immediately decide I'm going to do another straight yo-yo by going diving below him and using the extra speed to catch him. And because we're equal zoom fighters and I had more altitude to throw away, that means I am going to catch him. And this right here, he made it look like he was going to do a horizontal turn, then he immediately turned it into a normal split S. That's something he does that I never do, and it's something I should probably start doing. Whenever I go to do a maneuver, I think to myself, this is a situation where I should do a split S, so I roll upside down and do a split S without a second's thought. He doesn't do that. He thinks I'm going to do a split S, so I'm going to make it look like I'm going to do a turn, and then I'm going to roll into a split S. And it does a really good job of tricking you into thinking he's going to make a mistake when he's actually doing the perfect maneuver. He's just setting it up in a way that looks different. And it worked. It literally did just work. If he did a split S because I was below him, I would have gotten a good shot. Instead, because of how he made it look like how he was going to turn, I pulled my nose up and didn't get a good shot. And that was just me being a bad shot. But now he's trying to rolling scissors with a plane that has a superior climb rate to him. He is not going to win this one. And I dropped my combat flaps just to help a little bit. I'm not winning by a terribly large amount, but I am winning. He is in front of me, and I am 90 degrees above him. So he's losing out, and he realized it before I was able to get my guns on it, and again dove away. Alright. Oh, stop doing all the right things. So I'm not sure how badly he's damaged. I'm not actually damaged as bad as it looks. I have fuselage and tail damage, which doesn't reduce my maneuverability at all, and it doesn't reduce my top speed really at all. Just did a vertical reversal. He looked like he hesitated a little bit before he did it, which allowed me to get my guns on him. Oh, but then he went straight up. Oh, he just did the half reversal, so he's dropping down right behind me now. That's one of my favorite maneuvers. Steal all maneuvers, and again, I'm using my tail as bait to try and draw him into an energy fight. Because again, I saw how little energy he has, and that is not something I should have done with him. If anyone can make that shot, it's him, and he made it. If he would have given me 2 more seconds, he would have stalled out, but he didn't give me 2 more seconds. And I lost count, and immediately on typing that, I was like, oh, nope, I can see right there. Alright, well. Yeah, so I didn't win this one either. But yeah, we can't win them all. Or any of them. But those were extremely good fights, so I'm gonna cheat a little. Just a little. Oh, no, I'm not. Never mind. Oh, don't worry. You'll see us do a Bearcat fight here soon. It's not that bad.